as a place where artists, writers, communicators can live and work and play, because it is still really an affordable community to be a part of.
I agree.
And so it gives artists a place to practice their craft, engage in a community, and at the same time really improves the quality of life and opportunities for other residents. And so, I see that as a distinguishing feature of our community going forward, and we hope that Pecantown will be a further catalyst and kind of a home for that.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Discover Seguin On Location, where we talk about everything Seguin. This is sponsored by Bernard Donegan Insurance, and today we're on location with Tess Coody-Anders, who is the owner of Pecantown Books Brews. Welcome, Tess. Thank you for talking with us today.
Absolutely. I appreciate y'all coming in and spending time with us.
Appreciate having you. So, I love Pecantown Books Brews. It's a great little place here in downtown Seguin on South Camp Street. And tell us about your vision and how this whole place came about.
Yeah. So, this is my first foray into retail, and, the food and beverage part of it is new for me as well, other than a little snack waiting tables, in high school. But we are really passionate about our community here, my husband, Heath Anders, and I, and really love downtown, and felt like there was an opportunity to marry some passions and interests we had around books and great food, and bring that to our community, bring that to downtown. So this became our passion project, a way to kind of, demonstrate a proof of concept for downtown Seguin that, we can do something that's both literary and lifestyle, that's arts and culture, and that this community is excited about it and will support it.
And they have, I believe.
Yeah.
We come here, you're always busy. You've got a great selection of books and wonderful food. Tell me a little bit about your food. And I know you source it locally, correct?
Yeah, as much of it as we possibly can. We source locally and seasonally. So, for example, we work with Shook Farms on our microgreens, or we get our pecans from Ponderosa, our eggs from a local egg farm. And our menu changes seasonally. And so what we've done is it's kind of a collaborative thing between our customers and our staff. We think about what moves us, what excites us, what we'd like to eat, and what's available. And then we design menus with each season. And while it's not a comprehensive sit-down supper type of menu, it is always really creative.
It is.
So we're excited to do that. And we are inspired frequently by what we're reading. So often we'll be able to pair what we're cooking or what we're serving in wines or beers or coffees with the books. So it's really kind of an enmeshed thing.
That's great. And
Yeah.
tell us about your books, your selection of
Yeah.
books. You've got everything from cookbooks to children's books.
It's true. So we've tried to be more of a general bookstore. So we're not focused on one particular genre. We do kind of focus in on age groups, though. So we have a nonfiction and fiction for all ages. And then on the fiction side, we have a really well-curated literary fiction collection and poetry. Those are particular areas of focus for us on the fiction side.
Yeah.
Fantasy and mystery thriller. That's something genre-wise that we're really great at. And we feature a lot of local and Texas authors and Texas presses. We try to source books and curate books that come from independent presses. We are really proud of our children's and middle readers selection. Part of the passion for this was building that next generation of reader. And so we're really committed to that as well. So yeah, we can't carry everything. We're small. So what we do carry, we curate very intentionally. And it's a kind of a reflection of our community's interests, but also, my passion for literature and reading and introducing, new things to our readers.
How wonderful. I know you guys have book signings, correct? You have authors come into the bookstore and
Absolutely. As a small independent bookstore, there's no way we're ever going to compete with Amazon as a commodity, right? So we have to create an experience. And one of the ways you do that is, through our food and beverage and baked goods, but also by being a convener. So we have lots of events, whether it's hosting multiple authors, they might be regional, state, or local authors, or it's events that we've created ourselves, like Murder Mimosa, or Wine is Your Crime.
I've been to one as true crime. Well, it's so fun.
Or, the Lone Star Story Hour. So we create events that, marry again those interests. So where you can break bread together and break the spine of a book together and really, meet people and engage with the folks at the store. So
I agree. It's a great place to come and meet people and feel a sense of community. Well, that's great. How would you say has your vision of this carried out? Is it what you thought it would be? Has it changed or grown or?
I was really expecting the books to be my primary focus. But no pun intended, Seguin was very hungry for great food and great beverages and great baked goods, particularly baked goods that are gluten free, and gluten free options on our menu. And so I really am surprised and delighted at how the bistro part of Pecantown Books and Brews has just taken off. Um, that being said, I'm equally excited about the passion for books and reading. I must say that when we told folks we were going to open, I would frequently hear from naysayers that nobody reads a book anymore. Well, that's absolutely not true. Seguin has very entrenched, very active communities of readers. And frankly, so do New Braunfels and Victoria and Lavernia and Cibolo and Schertz. And we've become kind of a hub for all of those communities to engage in a passion for reading.
Oh, wow, wonderful. I didn't realize you had so much clientele that came from
Oh,
out of.
absolutely. In fact, I think only about 55% of our book sales are from the 78155 zip code. The
Interesting.
remainder come from other zip codes, either contiguous up from Austin to San Antonio, and then, every once we have some outliers. How sad.
Sweet.
Yeah.
So how do you decide on what books to put in the store?
Well, it's mostly new fiction or new books. And so we really look at two different things. One, as I mentioned, is are there independent or regional presses that are producing things that we think is, compelling and interesting and would appeal to folks who are passionate about our area and our community. But then I have a real love for well-written books. And so as a lifelong reader, I look for stories and storytellers that are, kind of pushing the envelope of their genre, and we bring those in as well.
So what do you see moving forward for Pecantown Books and Brews? What do you see as you move your community impact? What's new events that are coming up? Anything you want to tell us about?
Yeah, so we see an evolution in our book clubs and book related events that involve food. So one of the things that we trialed and seemed really popular, we may expand, is a cook the book club, for example. So that marries our dual passions here, where one member of our kitchen staff will take a new cookbook and prepare one of the dishes in the cookbook, and the members of the book club will each bring a side dish from the cookbook, and we break bread together and talk about the interesting challenges and new skills that you can learn preparing those dishes. So those are the kinds of things that we get excited about.
Yes.
What we see happening more and more, though, is that we're becoming a really great destination for authors. And so we're getting outreach from both traditionally published authors as well as independent authors. And more and more, we're a place that if folks are going to go on a book tour, Pecantown is one of the places that their promoters and their publicists say, well, we need to include you on your stop as a stop. So we're excited about that for Seguin. That's great for Seguin.
It is. Congratulations.
Yeah,
It's exciting. Yes.
yeah.
I believe that this bookstore, yeah, has made a big impact on the
We
downtown
hope so.
Seguin.
We hope so.
It's great for
Seguin
the
is
community.
really in a great position to lead on arts and culture, um, as a place where artists, writers, communicators can live and work and play, because it is still really an affordable community to be a part of.
I agree.
And so it gives artists a place to practice their craft, engage in a community, and at the same time really improves the quality of life and opportunities for other residents. And so, I see that as a distinguishing feature of our community going forward, and we hope that Pecantown will be a further catalyst and kind of a home for that.
Wonderful. Yeah. This place has such a great vibe. Every time I come here, whether it's during for lunch or for in the evening, you can just sort of relax and it just has such a good feel about it.
Yeah,
I love it.
thank you. That's the folks that work here. I work with really amazing, committed, passionate folks who love each other and love their community.
You do have great
And
employees.
and that
Yeah.
that makes all the difference.
Yeah.
The service and engagement is what creates the experience, I think.
Yes, and it is a good experience. So tell us, what would you recommend we interview next for our Discover Seguin?
Where should you go next?
Where should we go? What do you like downtown Seguin? What are some of your favorites?
Many wonderful shops all throughout Seguin. It's really difficult to pick one other retailer. But one thing I would suggest is, I don't know if you've talked to any of the master naturalists about the program that they run through the library and how you can walk the trail and the creek,
Huh?
and experience how beautiful downtown Seguin still is, on top of being, a burgeoning lifestyle destination. So there's still a lot of nature to be experienced in downtown
There
out
is
through the trail. So I think I really love that, and I love walking that trail. And
a great idea.
it would be kind of interesting to talk to, and the library itself is absolutely stunning. We started something called Story Walk at the library, which is um, a great destination for families. And so those are two of my favorite places downtown. But all of Austin Street is just full of great retailers that range from, you know, uh, gourmet kitchen, curated gourmet kitchen and gifts, homewares, clothing, arts and crafts. And there's not a single store or store owner that you might talk to downtown that wouldn't have an interesting and compelling story.
I agree. Yeah, that's great. That's great. Anything else you want to tell us about yourself or how you came to Seguin or
I would just say that what I would say about Seguin is that um, Seguin is really having a moment, and we're on the precipice of something great.
I agree.
And I think what's heartening for me about that is we're having intentional conversations about what that will look like. So, you can sort of let growth happen to you,
Yes.
or you can anticipate it and manage it. And I think that's something that this community is being thoughtful about.
I
We
agree.
really want to maintain that sense that we know each other, that we're an active, real downtown, a working, living downtown, that we care about each other and engage with each other, and that we don't become an anonymous community along a thoroughfare, and an interstate. And so I'm excited that Seguin is really being thoughtful about that.
I love that. I love that
Yeah.
perspective. It's wonderful.
Thank
Right.
you.
Thank you so much
Yeah, thanks for thinking of us.
too.
Well, I appreciate you thinking of us, and thank you for what you're doing to highlight Seguin.
Thanks. Well, you've done a great job. We love Pecantown Books and Brews. Discover Seguin with us.
Well, and I appreciate Bernard Donegan's support as a small business owner who's just getting going for the first time. You all have been really helpful to me in making it possible for me to do what I do here. So thank you.
Thank you. Thanks.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next episode of Discover Seguin on Location.